Welcome back to my channel. We're playing 20 questions virtually with,
Shannon Foster from Foster's Creations.
and you sell paints on Etsy and I think your own site, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Both.
So let's get into these questions. When I say fountain pen, what pen do you think of?
Oddly enough, my Charlie Chaplin.
All right. How did
And
you get into
I
pens?
don't know that many people know about that one.
I only know about it because of you. Yeah. How did you get into pens?
Well, I was trying to remember when exactly that was. It's been a while, but there was a huge gap because I know it was after 2015 when I got into lettering. Someone on Amazon approached me to review a pen,
Okay.
and it was a bamboo one. It was really pretty, but it was cartridge and it didn't have a converter, so I hated it.
Have you
So it kind of,
have you tried putting a standard international converter in it to see if
well, because I don't know what the hell I did with it.
it
It's in this office somewhere with the rest of my Pilot, um, whatever these are, parallel pens. I
Okay,
could only find this one. It's with the rest of these.
fair enough.
I have a feeling it's in the wooden desk that's over here that I have stuff in front of. So when I get ambition and move my two carts out from in front of that, I think it's in that desk drawer. But um, but it wrote really nice.
This is
I
only
just
because this is new. We'll see how long this lasts.
yeah.
It's only day 3. I haven't had the chance to destroy it yet.
But after that, I didn't touch a pen until what was it? December. Well, it would have been January of 20. Let's see, this was 24, so 23. Yeah, so I applied for Ferris Wheel Press in December, got accepted. So January, I thought I need a fountain pen because I don't have any. I'm going to be an ambassador. I have all their inks. I don't have a fountain pen.
So
So
very
that's
similar to me.
yeah.
Like,
So I started binge watching on YouTube, and I think I searched Amazon, and for some reason this Duke Charlie Chaplin pen came up, and I was fascinated by it because I don't know why, because I think he's funny, and it's the cutest thing. It's got his little shoe foot on it, on the band.
that's so cute.
Yeah, and so in my stupidity, I bought a fude nib because I thought pointed pen I could get the thin and thick lines with real ease. No, you have to turn it and turn it and turn it. So I then went back and bought the same thing in medium. And then I also found out that you can't swap nibs with this pen. It's a Duke, but you can't take the nib out.
That would
So,
be insane.
but I still love it. It's still my favorite. It is heavy as heck, but I love heavy pens. But I like, listen, it's the, oh, sorry, Amber Alert. But it's not anywhere near me, so I'm.
Amber alert or tornado siren. There are 2 options.
It was Amber Alert because I'm looking outside. It's sunny, so. But it was nowhere near me, so I shut it off because it didn't pertain. It's like Ames, and that's like almost 3 hours from me, so wouldn't do me any good.
All right. Well, you've already answered question number 3, which was what was your first pen?
Yeah.
What's your current daily driver?
I would have to say I use this Monteverde Rodeo
Okay.
a lot. I like the way it writes.
With a specific ink in it, or do you switch it up?
It's got. I knew you were going to ask me that. Hold on. It has. It's not the right one. It's got a Ferris Wheel Press shimmer ink in it because I can see it, but I don't know which one it has in it. And I don't see my.
So it handles shimmer inks well.
Oh yeah, it does.
All right.
I think it's got. I don't want to tell you wrong.
That's fine.
But I can't find my notebook that has it in it that tells me what's in it. That's terrible. It should be like right there.
It's fine.
Who knows? Who knows where I put it?
Number 5, what's your favorite ink currently?
Um, Oddly enough, it's probably still, even though I have this plethora of shimmer ones, um, Pelican, I think it's deep green.
All right. What's your favorite brand in either pens or ink or both?
Um, Boy, that's tough. Pens, I'd probably have to give you two.
All right.
Um, because I'm a Jinhao fan, hugely. I probably have 40 of them because they write beautifully and they're affordable. But I really like Monteverde. I have some affordable, and then I have a really pricey one.
I don't. I
That
have some gin ones, but I don't have any Monteverde in either their inks or their pens.
Yeah, I don't have. I don't think I have their inks, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5 Monteverdes. 6, but I'm gifting one away because we'll talk about that one a little later.
All right.
That's my biggest regret pen.
I was going to say an impulse purchase that.
No. It's just it was. You'll understand when I
Okay.
talk about it later.
Number 7, vintage or modern?
I guess modern because I've never had access to vintage. So, although because I like the flex of pointed pen, I think I would like vintage. But I do have the flex nibs from Fountain Pen Revolution. They're very nice and they're very similar to pointed pens. So I guess modern with a flex nib, with a super flex nib.
I have vintage flex, but I found somebody that does a flex for a Quaco Sport today, and I went, ooh.
I just ordered some new flex nib pens that I'm anxious to try out. Iuli, Jeannie, I think is Jeannie from Iuli. I don't know if that's her first name.
Yeah.
I always remember, I can't remember what her first name is, but she has them, but I actually got them directly from the person that makes them. And they really super flex, but they take a while to come because I think they're coming from the Philippines or from China. I can't remember where they're from. I think Philippines maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how those are.
I'm curious to hear how you like them. Because while my flex is vintage, I don't put shimmer inks and stuff in it. Like everything I put in it is pH neutral and really basic, and so I need something flex.
I
need a clean.
Can tell you the Ultra Flex one from Fountain Pen Revolution handles shimmer ones beautifully.
Lovely.
I have their JPR 2 and I don't remember which one. This one and their other one, and this is actually the Flex, and it handles beautifully.
Okay.
Beautifully. Well worth. I think it's like $15 extra for that nib.
Sweet.
But I think this whole pen costs like maybe $5 minus the nib. So I mean, they have inexpensive pens you can put them in. So.
All right. Now that we've had that side quest, number 8, do you swatch all your inks?
I do. And I kind of went down a rabbit hole lately. I used to just swatch them because they're primarily Ferris wheel press. So I have these.
Yes, I know of your rep. I've been watching it with great eagerness.
But I realized that as good as this paper is, it doesn't always show the sheening properties. And
I love my cola ring dippers. The sheen shows up so nicely.
So I created my own ring with watercolor paper.
Ooh,
so nice. I have those. And then I finally bit the bullet, and I didn't realize when I bought this how tiny it was, because this was $17 for this Tomoa River teeny tiny thing. Yeah. But it's perfect for this.
Yeah.
considering I paid not much more for this Tomoe River notebook. So yeah. Um, but I saw someone on, and I can't tell you who it was, that she took papers
Mm-hmm.
and put them on her. Can you see them?
I
The
can't.
different shapes?
It's like zooming in awkwardly. Oh yeah, no, I did see somebody do that.
Okay. So that's what I'm doing is I got all my shapes cut out, punched out.
Yeah.
And so I have Clairefontaine, Mnemzine or whatever that one is,
Yeah.
Rhodia. I have Romeo, which is it's a Japanese paper.
Okay.
Tomoe River, and my Canson XL. So now I'm going to have them all on here in one place.
I remember seeing that post on Instagram and going, if I actually like had the energy or the care to do it, that would look so cool. But I'm quite happy with like the Rolodex and the dippers. Like they just,
Right. But this is nice because it'll all be in one place.
yeah.
And I did suggest to Ferris Press, I said, you're missing out on real estate. Print them on the back because we could have swatches on the back too.
I lust after those books, and then I see them, like I see other people use them and I go, they just like infuriate me. I'm quite happy with like the way I
Yeah.
swatched, because also like they see like when you want to move things around, like they seem like they're frustrating to deal with.
I don't mind. Like I said, but I do like these, and I was gonna buy the book, but I was impatient, and so I just cut up watercolor paper and did my own. So, and the watercolor paper does show the sheening in the very nicely. I was worried it wouldn't,
No,
but
watercolor
it does.
tends to sheen quite nicely, I find.
Especially the cheap Canson. I mean, you know,
Yeah, Canson or the Fabriano 25% cotton.
I think I have some of that somewhere too.
I use that for so many of my like ink projects because it looks really good.
Because of course they won't tell you what paper the color rings are, you know, what it's made out of.
Yeah, it's made by some paper company in the States.
Yeah.
It says on the back. All right, number 9. Do you daily drive the same pen and inks or do you switch it up?
Oh no, I have probably 7 or 8 sitting here, and then if I have to do something, I just ink another one or I'll dip it just to use it.
Yep. Uh, Number 10, do you have your nibs in like writing samples in a way that you can search through them, or do you just sort of know what's in a pen?
I have the currently inked pens I have in a notebook.
Yeah.
And so then once it's changed, I put the date that I put that ink in it. And then so then later in the book, if it's a new date, then it's got the new ink in it.
I should do that with one of my traveler's notebooks.
Yeah, I have one notebook that I test them in, and that usually has that's how I don't have a really, I should have a currently inked notebook, but I really don't. It's just in my ink testing notebook or whatever I want to call it,
What's a pen you wish you could see in person?
um, I would love to see a Visconti in person,
Uh,
just because they're so. Actually, the is that the one that has the twist? That one that's teal and has the twist.
it's
I think so. Goulet. I saw it on Goulet pens. Now I'm gonna have to look it up
maybe.
because that one
I
intrigues
know
me.
which pen you're talking about, but I can't think about who the brand is. No, I saw Visconti's like in person, hands on for the first time at the Chicago Pen Show,
Yeah.
and that was great. because I got to hold a Homo sapien and realized that I didn't want one, which is like the best feeling ever, realizing that you don't actually want the $1,000 pen you've been looking at for.
Right. That might not be it because it's not coming up. Shoot. Oh, maybe it's that one. Davina Wave.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
no,
don't,
that's a pretty pen.
yeah, that's it. That's because Goulet Pens had it on there, and I was like, boy, I'd want to touch that.
As always, I'll leave a link to it down below so you know what we're talking about.
I'll look up the exact name real quick just so you have it right.
Yeah. Um, so would that be your number 12? Would that be your Grail pen? Or is that just something you want to see in person?
No, I just want to see it in person to see if it holds up to type.
So do you
Because I probably would. I had a Grail pen, but I bought it.
so do you have a new Grail, or is there anything that's catching your eye?
There's a few, and I don't know if I can. Well, that might be it because it's $956. The Divina Elegance, the Visconti Divina Elegance.
My Grail pen for a long time was $28. It was just really hard. Like a Grail can be any price range, in my opinion.
Well, since we're talking about it, this was my Grail pen.
Oh, that's
The
pretty.
yeah, it's the Monteverde Regatta in the rose gold uh, mother of pearl
Yeah.
with
Oh,
the Omniflex. And you know how satisfying this clip was? Listen to this one. This is the magnetic. I don't know if you can hear it.
yeah. Yeah.
It's
The mic
like I just,
that up.
and then I'm like, you're gonna ruin the magnet. Just clicking it.
Well, hopefully they replace them if it does get ruined.
And it's not inked only because I haven't found the perfect ink for it yet.
Yes.
Because I feel it has to have the right one. I thought Fluttering Heart might be, but
Mm.
it's too pale.
What about the Sailor Sakura in the Man Neo line?
I don't have any Sailor inks, so um but yeah, and then I almost thought and because the Fluttering Heart would be pretty,
Yes. Fluttering
but
Heart.
I think it's still writing wise would be too pale. Although I have the flex nib, so I mean it's going to give quite a bit of ink. Um, Look at how green Son of Scarlet is on the watercolor paper.
Move it this way a little. Oh yeah. Wow.
It's like, where's the red?
It's gone on an adventure.
Yes,
Number 13. What pen would you recommend to a beginner?
I would. I would say any of the gin house. I mean, they write beautifully and they're inexpensive. My favorites, because I like a heavy pen, are the 450s or 750 for a moderate. But I really like the big Kahunas, the the 159s.
Oh, okay.
I just got some of the 901, the Dadio 9019s with the heartbeat nib. Have you seen those? Um, and the 9016. Let's see. This is a 19, so this is it compared to the 159.
Okay. Oh yeah. That's a difference.
Which I think weight wise, they're plastic, they're acrylic, so they're going to be weight wise like the X159.
Okay.
Yeah, it has the heartbeat nib. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sort of.
But these, look at the best thing about these. Check this out.
Oh, that's
That
nice.
big converter. It holds, I think they said like 3 milliliters of ink. You'd never have to refill that baby.
I filled a Twisby Eco all the way, and I have barely made a dent.
I have a Twisby Ego. I have never inked it.
Oh.
Do you know why? I'm afraid of it
Mm. I
because it's a piston filler, right? Isn't it?
mm,
Mine's not accessible.
lead mine's a piston. Yeah, mine's a piston.
I didn't want to screw it up. I have a piston filler in a cheap fountain pen Revolution, but I'm like, I just didn't want to mess it up. So, but other than that, um, any of the Monteverdes I've had write really, really well too. And that's kind of a middle
Yeah,
of the road, you know,
yeah. What
but
would you recommend to a beginner?
what?
Ink would you recommend to a beginner?
Um, on affordability, I would
But
probably say diamond.
whatever you
I would
feel.
say if they're just starting out and I would say diamine because they're in the really affordable and they're beautiful.
Yep. What advice do you have for somebody who wants to try out fountain pens but might be a bit intimidated by them?
I would say try the what is it? Zebra has those pre-filled.
Yeah.
Those, I mean, it gives you a taste of what they're gonna be like before you jump in the pit of, you know, the bottomless pit of.
Bottomless pit really is bottomless.
Yeah.
Number 16, what filling mechanism do you think is most interesting, regardless of if you like to use it or not?
I think that is it the bladder fill?
Oh, the old
It
sack.
intrigues me because I don't understand how it works.
I
Um,
have some that are like inkable that I ink, and I still don't understand totally how they
I
work.
don't necessarily understand how the button fill works either.
No, I really want a button filler though. A button
It
filler.
intrigues me. I mean, vacuum I get. I know it's the reverse action and I understand that, but yeah, those two intrigue me because I don't understand how they work. So,
What size of nib do you prefer to write with?
um, medium, broad, stub. I don't like, I write big, so I don't like small nibs.
Is there a style of nib you like the look of but never use?
I'm intrigued by the architect nib
Architects are fun.
and the journaling nib, which I think aren't those reversed.
I don't have a journaler, but I've got an architect on a Jinhao, and
One of them does the opposite that the architect does.
it's probably a journaler.
Um, and then I hear people talk about the music nib, but I don't know what that does.
Uh, that is a Pilot music nib writing sample.
So it
Do I,
has a really,
yeah, like, do I understand it? No, but it was really fun to write with. Um, Deb, who I did 20 questions with and then interviewed me for 20 questions, had hers custom ground in Chicago and then let me play with it.
I just watched that interview earlier today.
um, 19. Do you always use the same paper? If so, what paper? If not, what paper do you use?
I don't always use this paper because not all inks perform the same. I had trouble with my Pelican deep green in my flex nib. It didn't like the Mesame, or however you say that. It didn't like even the Tomoyo River. Oddly enough, the only paper that I didn't get any bleeding or feathering on it was HP premium laser paper.
I use printer paper with my fountain. I like this is so
Well,
sacrilege. I use printer paper with my fountain pens all the time.
what made me go there was I was so frustrated and I don't think it even liked the Clairefontaine. And I was sitting here one day thinking, what am I going to use with this ink and this nib? And then I thought, well, when I was doing pointed pen, the only paper that worked was 32-pound premium laser paper, and sitting in my printer is that. So I went over and grabbed some and solved the problem. So now if I want pretty dotted paper, I went and Procreate and did my dotted in like cream and lavender and whatever color and printed it out. And now I have pretty papers on my 32-pound paper.
The resort
Right on.
of artists, honestly.
Yeah. I was like, oh, and then yeah, oh, here's the dot. Here's the dot. So I have lavender and I have blue and green. I just did a bunch of different colors, and it works. I just cut it in fours and solved that problem. Because calligraphy ink in pointed pen is like Sumi ink is a pain in the butt. So that's I don't know why I didn't think of it sooner.
All calligraphy ink is a pain, honestly. This makes me happy. Calligraphy ink makes me want to pull my hair out.
And the stack of journals that I've gone through, finding ones that are, even though they say they're fountain pen friendly,
Yeah.
the only ones I found that are truly fountain pen friendly are the Buke, Buke.
Okay.
And I think they're 160 GSM. And then I know I'm going to tell you wrong, but I don't have it turned around where I can see the brand name. It starts with an S, but I got it on Amazon.
You can text,
It's
leave it as a note in the comments.
yeah, I will. I'll text you. But it's also another. It might be it's either 160 or 180 GSM, and they are both beautiful. And they'll even work with that flex nib with the deep green Pelican ink that's finicky.
Well, our final question is, what is your least favorite ink/ink color family?
I don't have a. Well, I say color family would be gray. I'm not crazy about grays. And oddly enough, um, my first Benu
Mhm.
is gray.
Is it the Atlas exclusive one?
The Hollywood.
It's ending up in my cart and I keep taking it out.
Yeah. My this is one of my other favorite pens. It's a Hero
Okay.
because it's got the little Swarovski crystals on it. Um, but that pen that I told you that my one that when I found it on Amazon, the picture showed the clip and all the chrome was kind of a mint green.
Mhm.
So I ordered them like mint green lavender. How cute. Actually, I didn't order it. I got it. I put it in my cart for my mother-in-law to get me for my birthday. So I opened it as a birthday present and I was like trying not to have my face show how unbelievably disappointed I was.
Green.
And so then I thought I went back and looked at it again and it still showed the lavender pen with green, mint green chrome. And I thought, well, I'll order it in a fine nib instead of a medium. Nope, came same thing. So my friend's getting the other one. It's still beautiful
Very
and it writes beautiful. But it's like the picture did not, I don't know what they did with the picture, but it's not a current pen. They don't sell it anymore. So I can't even go on Monteverde and ask and say, what's the deal with this pen? Why is it look like that?
well. Thanks for playing 20 questions.
Yep. I had fun.
Yeah.